Good morning, everyone, on this fabulous Friday morning, the day after the big snowstorm, biggest one in the last 5 years. Hope everybody is safe and warm out there. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who are new to watching, I am Deb Burton, founder and creator of RI Elder Info. RI Elder Info is the most comprehensive resource for seniors, caregivers, and professionals. So whether or not you're looking for health and health support or housing information, legal advocacy, like what documents might you need as we age, or just plain fun things to do. And I know these days with COVID, a lot of us are kind of bored at home. We have fun things for you to do, and an activities calendar that lists out different events going on to keep us all engaged. So every Friday we meet and we have a wonderful cup of coffee with some great guests from our local nonprofits that are doing some really amazing things that everybody needs to know about. This would certainly not be possible without the support of our sponsors. We have Oak Street Health, who's a great sponsor of ours, Tamarisk Assisted Living over in Warwick, wonderful facility for folks. I encourage everybody to check it out. Check out both Oak Street and Tamarisk Assisted Living. We've got the support of D&B Media and England Studio. We are really grateful for what they have done for us, particularly in 2020. In the age of COVID, things are challenging for a lot of us. So this week, I am very excited to introduce a friend of mine, Susie Adler from the Jewish Collaborative Services, and Susie's going to discuss the resources that JCS provides to the community. Welcome, Susie.
Thank you. Good morning, Deb. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. So tell everyone, what is Jewish Collaborative Services? What happens there? Oh, you hit mute. Hold on. How about now? Oh, I see your lips moving, but I can't hear what you say. You were right there for a moment.
She actually didn't hit me. She's not on mute. Susie, are you on a phone right now? You know? Can you just exit out of your web browser and come back in? Okay.
Ooh, see, these are some of the fun things that happen when you run live video, folks.
Absolutely.
1 minute you have volume, the next minute you don't. And I feel like that happens a lot of times. We're speaking and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, are people really hearing the words coming out of my mouth? How many times have we said on Zoom, can you hear me now? How about now? Can we hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Very good. Yay. Funny how the on-off works, huh?
Yes.
So please tell everyone, what is Jewish Collaborative Services and what do they do?
So Jewish Collaborative Services is a merge of Jewish Family Services and Jewish Seniors Agency of Rhode Island. And we merged about 2.5 years ago. And we cater and we serve all members of the community, Jewish and non-Jewish as well, from young to old. We have Jewish Elder Care of Rhode Island, which I am the coordinator of, and we reach out to residents in nursing homes, residents in assisted livings, community members who are living at home, who are isolated, and we try to bring them Judaism, we try to bring them Chanukah, and I will tell a little story in a minute. We also offer adoption options. We help families adopt children, babies, and toddlers, and I believe even older, to bring them together with a family. We also have the kosher food pantry, where we deliver food and people come and pick up to over 100 families a month. I believe we've had a very big increase since COVID-19 and since the pandemic. And Marcy Ingber has been doing an amazing job making sure that everyone has the food that they need. We also offer counseling services to children and to adults. One of the things that I love about Jewish Elder Care of Rhode Island is that we are able to enhance the lives of the residents who are living in nursing homes and assisted livings. This year, thanks to Friends of Jewish Seniors, we were able to deliver a battery-operated menorah to all nursing home residents who are living all over Rhode Island, whether they live in Pasco or they live in South County or in Newport or in Westerly. We make sure to bring the holidays to them. This year, we were not able to do any in-person Hanukkah programs. Usually we do about 40. This year, we were not able to do any. We were able to do some on Zoom, which was wonderful. But the residents are so happy with the gift that we gave them this year. Because of being in quarantine, they're not even able to gather together with one or two other Jewish residents in the nursing homes or in the assisted living. So they were able to celebrate Hanukkah in their rooms. And we were able to talk about memories. They've called us and said, thank you so much. This is beautiful. Thank you for thinking of us. We miss you. And it's just great to be part of their lives.
That is awesome. So it sounds like I've always known JCS as an organization that serves seniors, but it sounds like you're really covering the whole scope. So have you found during COVID an increase in need for your food pantry services?
Absolutely. Like I said, we've had a definite increase of families that have needed to come to our food pantry. It's sad that there are so many people that are struggling right now, but it's wonderful that we're able to help them.
Absolutely.
They come twice a month. Some people, come outside, they come to the pantry, they pick up their food, and those people that aren't able to come, we will make a delivery to them. And if they can't come on the days that we're open, we'll make arrangements for another day. We don't let anybody stay hungry.
That is really important because I think, we hear about the food pantries, we see the long lines of cars. What we don't realize is that there are many, and unfortunately, a lot of times it's seniors who can't get out of their house, and they are unfortunately in need of the service of the food pantries. So I think that that's wonderful that you guys are able to provide delivery for those who are not able to get out, because that's an absolute basic need. That's so important. So tell me more about what services that you are able to provide for individuals who are in long-term care. Because just for my viewers, if you're not aware, one of your rights in long-term care is the right to practice your faith. You have a right to practice your faith no matter what. And how does JCS help folks who are residents of nursing homes or assisted livings or group homes, as the case may be?
Well, pre-COVID, we have been able to do a Shabbat service, which is our Sabbath, which starts technically 18 minutes before sunset on Friday and ends 43 minutes after sunset on Saturday. So it's like a 25-hour day of rest, day of contemplation. And we're able to do a Shabbat service with the residents through being with them and lighting Shabbat candles. We do discussion groups. When it's time for Passover, we will go and do a Passover Seder. We'll bring the food, we'll bring the matzah, we'll bring, the gefilte fish that not everybody loves, but, some people will say, oh, my mom used to make it, I'm not eating it out of a jar, which I totally get. But we're able to bring them Judaism. During the pandemic, it's been very hard. The last time I was in a facility was the beginning of March.
Wow.
Yeah. During the summer, we were able to do a couple of outdoor visits, and one or two places would allow us to come in just to do a visit because they were opening up to families to visit with their loved ones. But so many loved ones just they're not either able to get there, or the residents don't have anybody nearby. It's very hard for a child to travel across the country, visit with their parent for 30 minutes, and then quarantine for 2 weeks. It's not possible. So they've allowed me and Dory, who's also phenomenal, who we work together in Jewish elder care, and we are able to visit with them. We become part of their family, and they become part of our family. So now during COVID, we're not seeing anybody. We can FaceTime one or two residents, but it's been very, very difficult. Some residents are not able to come to the phone. A lot of nursing homes don't have phones in the rooms. So it's pretty much if the cordless phone is available, we can talk to them. And, sometimes, they may have some trouble hearing us, and it's more aggravating to them. So there are some residents that we just not have been able to connect with since March, and it breaks our heart.
And I think, you touch on a really good point that, sometimes it is with the best of efforts to reach individuals in long-term care, but there are always challenges, such as hard of hearing and the access to, the actual cordless phone, which these days would need to be disinfected, constantly. If you think about your own cordless phone, how often can you really wipe that down with the Clorox bleach before the buttons get weird? Tell me more. I think a lot of times, unless you are of the Jewish faith, you have this false belief that Hanukkah is the high holiday like Christmas is for Christians. How is that the case? If you could discuss that a little bit. And then how did you help residents this year? What was the feedback that you got in relation to the Menorah project?
Okay, so let's go back for 1 second. So our high holidays, as you would call it, is Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and 10 days later, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. We were lucky that we were able to do some programming this year. Dory and I were able to put together a Zoom Rosh Hashanah service with Rabbi Adler, and we sent it to all the facilities so they could share it with the residents, so they could feel like they had a service for Rosh Hashanah. Hanukkah, on the other hand, it's a minor holiday. It's not even in our Bible. It's in the Apocrypha. But everyone celebrates Hanukkah, whether they're secular Jews, observant Jews, Orthodox, conservative, Reform. Everyone celebrates Hanukkah. It's a festival of light. The light shines brightly, and it gives us hope for the future. This year, thanks to Friends of Jewish Seniors, we delivered over 200 battery-operated menorahs to every nursing home resident and most assisted living residents. This year, we delivered chocolate Hanukkah gelt to residents of Tamarisk. Being that it is a Jewish kosher facility, they were able to have a Hanukkah menorah lighting every single night. So we sent them some yummy chocolates. But the residents who we sent the menorahs to have been in awe of what they were able to do this year. They were able to light the Hanukkah menorah in their rooms. They were able to sing the blessings. They're able to look at the lights, even though it's battery operated. The flames actually flicker, and for them it was like, wow, this is the light of Hanukkah. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're hoping that come next year for Hanukkah, we're going to be able to get together in all the facilities and just bring the light of Hanukkah and of Judaism to all of the Jewish residents who, right now, that's what they need. They need that light at the end of the tunnel. They need to know that we will have some form of normalcy at some point. And, we're hoping that maybe Hanukkah we can celebrate together, but we're thinking that it's probably going to be more for the Jewish New Year, which will be in September.
Yeah, and I think right now we all need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming. And I think we need that positivity and that hope. I know Jewish Collaborative Services also offers something unique for veterans or families of veterans. And I'm wondering if you might be able to share that with our viewers today.
I do know that if there is a resident that would like to go into Tamarisk, they do have a veterans package. Mm-hmm. I unfortunately do not know much more than that.
Okay, so I know JCS at one time had been offering respite for caregivers to give caregivers a break.
Yes. Yeah, so we had Partners in Care, mm-hmm. Which was with mostly veteran families. Unfortunately, that has now been put on hold due to COVID. Some of the volunteers are still reaching out to some of their people, but we can't shop for them anymore. We can't visit with them. We can't hold their hand. We can't be with them anymore. And it's been so hard on all of us because, everybody just wants to hug. I think when we're able to, there's going to be a total shift, like in certain parts of the world where everything's just going to tilt because everyone's going to get together for this like huge group hug. I know I'm ready. My arms are ready. I'm ready to do it.
I think one thing, we have all learned in COVID is how important it is to be able to touch, that sense of human touch, that sense of human connectedness. I remember in years past, many years past, like at this time of year, there would be all kinds of craziness about, finding, the particular Cabbage Patch doll or whatever, and people going crazy about you got to have the gift. And this year I hear people say, I just want to hug my grandkids. I just want to be able to touch my mom, to hold hands. And if there's, I hate to say positive that has come out of this horrible pandemic, maybe that's it, is that it has really made us appreciate each other even more.
I think it's important to always look for the silver lining, as hard as it is. I remember in the beginning during the summer, you would see, on social media, people were putting together these hug machines where you could go with, plastic and, hug a loved one. And I kept saying, if I just had like, 1% of that, intuition, that would be so cool. I never figured out how to do it, but, we could take that and, bring it around and hug people, I am also a chaplain, per diem, but it's so heartbreaking when you have to do an end of life over the phone and the person is unconscious. You can't hold their hand. You've got children who are on the phone with you just crying and there's nobody there hugging them. It is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's so.
And I think it is important for people to hear that who don't believe that COVID is serious. I don't think that they necessarily get the degree of pain that is involved with that. For all involved.
You're right. It's, the hospitals, they're straining at the walls right now. The field hospitals, I've heard, are, starting to get very, very full. And, there are patients that you just can't, the staff is wonderful, but they can't be there for everyone. There's not enough staff.
Yeah.
And, people are passing away without anybody being there. They're passing away alone. And it's heartbreaking. I speak to, residents who are in nursing homes and they're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see my child again. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's an uptick in numbers again in the nursing homes, which is why our Zooms have been canceled because they can't congregate together anymore. I think it's great. They're doing everything to keep the residents as safe as possible.
Yes, the facilities are doing a lot of work to keep the residents safe. It just speaks to how vicious this disease is and how contagious it is. And just one thing aside from our conversation today, there was news that came out last night, and then it was on the national news today, that Rhode Island was receiving fewer vaccines in this coming week than expected. I was actually on a call this morning, and that will not impact the nursing homes and their staff that were anticipated to get the vaccines next week or in the coming weeks. It will not have an impact on the nursing homes. They will still receive as scheduled, as planned, the vaccine. So that was very hopeful news for me this morning. So tell me, JCS does adoptions. Do you work with families of all ages? Do you have grandparents who are caring for grandchildren?
I believe we have a few.
Yeah.
A few of them are doing that. And it's wonderful that they're able to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
We have one resident who moved out to take our husband home to care for him And unfortunately, he passed away. But now her grandchildren are living with her. So it's almost like, the role reversal.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's great when families can step up to the plate.
I think it's going to be one of those things that's going to become more common again. We kind of got to wait for that from a few decades, but I think it's coming around again now, that we're recognizing we really do need to take care of each other as much as we possibly can. Obviously, some people are not able to do that. Some people, there is that distance. And I'm really glad to hear that for those individuals in long-term care who are not able to access their family for whatever reason, that you're able to go in and be that person's someone.
Yeah, it's, many residents have said to us that we are their family now. And, I do have to tell one Chanukah story. A few years ago, I went to a nursing home up north, and the woman was unresponsive. I don't want to say unresponsive. She couldn't communicate. And I went to do a Chanukah program, and she just wanted nothing to do with it. She was the only resident, but everybody there supported her. So the staff came to the Chanukah program, and a few residents who I had gotten to know came to the Chanukah program. And I'm telling the story, and her eyes are closed. And I'm singing the blessings to like the Chanukah menorah. No reaction. I'm like, okay, she's sleeping. We start having jelly donuts. In Israel, they have jelly donuts. In America, we have potato pancakes because of the oil. And nothing. She's just not interested whatsoever. So I said, okay, I don't know what her background is, but I'm going to try to sing a Yiddish song, a Yiddish Chanukah song. Now, my Yiddish is not good at all. It's not one of my languages. And I start singing the Chanukah song. And all of a sudden, this woman, she opens her eyes, she lifts up her head, and there are tears streaming down her face. That's what resonated with her, was that Yiddish. I hadn't known. But, it's just, we can connect on a level that people just don't grasp it unless you're in the thick of it. I could tell you more stories, but I won't do that to you today. But we've
then
had,
you really see the tears come down.
But it was like one of those moments. It's like, wow, and it was so beautiful. And she passed away a few weeks later, but I gave her that moment. And, I say Dory and I need to write a book because there are so many beautiful stories. And there was a woman I was visiting who was a Holocaust survivor, and she had a son who lived very far away. And I became her family. I would go to visit her, and, she would call me on the phone, and I went to see her. She had gone into a nursing home from an assisted living, and she apparently had had a stroke and was in the nursing home. So I went to visit her, and the only words that she could say was, "Love you." That was it. But wow, it was to me. So it was awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I love what I do. I love reaching out. And I'll tell you, when the COVID pandemic is over and I can visit, you will hear a scream that will go from here to Israel. Just know it's me. Don't get scared. It's not a siren. It is just me screaming for joy that I can now go and visit all of my friends.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, I love that. So tell me, is Jewish Collaborative Services, is it a nonprofit?
Yes, it is a nonprofit.
And how can people support you?
You can send a donation to our organization if you want to make it for a specific program, if you want to send it to the pantry or Jewish Elder Care of Rhode Island or adoptions or just general campaign. You can put it on the memo line where it goes to, but you can send it to Jewish Collaborative Services at 1165 North Main Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02904.
That is awesome. And so, do you also need volunteers?
We would love volunteers. Right now, our volunteers are sort of on hold because they can't go in to visit. But we want to start a phone call campaign with our residents. Dory and I reach out to all the residents, but we know that there are some residents that have no one else reaching out to them. So if there's anyone who would like to, call a senior once or twice a week, 10, 15 minutes, they should call 331-1244 and ask for either myself or for Dory Adler, who is our volunteer coordinator at this time. And we would love to set you up. There's a Yiddish word, polishing. They're just craving for communication and for interaction with somebody who's not staff, because they're tired of seeing staff every day. They want to see someone new. They want to talk to someone new. They want to be able to talk about their feelings. They want to talk about Hanukkah. They want to talk about their children. And that's, their children and their grandchildren. And that's what they need to do. They need an outlet. So if anyone would like to volunteer to make phone calls, we would love to have you on our team.
That is awesome. Susie, this has been great. And I think
thank you so much.
I really appreciate you coming on today. And
I appreciate the invite.
I think right now is the time when we really need the light. Absolutely.
And today is the last day of Hanukkah, so we did good.
Yes.
We did
yes.
good. And then tonight for Shabbat, we will light the Shabbat candle, so the light just continues on.
Very good. Very good. Let the light continue. Thank you very much, Susie, for joining us. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you. Happy holidays and have a wonderful day.
Yes.
Take care.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is our last Friday Friends for 2020, but have no fear. We will be back in 2021. My guest for 2021, starting out of the box, will be Director Catherine Taylor from Age Friendly Rhode Island. This programming would not be possible. RI Elder Info would not be possible without the support of all of our sponsors this year. And we are deeply grateful for everything that they have done for us and has enabled us to do for everyone else. I wish you all a wonderful holiday and peace and health in 2021. Thank you.